Ooh. When you jump on here, make sure that you tell me where you're watching from and whether you're watching the replay or whether you're watching live. So hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. If you don't see the live button up here in the corner, you're catching the replay. So welcome. Let me know where you're from. Hey guys, how is everybody? Hi, Miss Angela. Hi, Mickey. How are you? Good to see you, girl. Oh my goodness, my pastor's wife has been really sick, and she just texted me and said my O2 sats are up to 94%. Yay for O2 sats of 94%, which we're just at 89%. This is good. Hey girl, hi Phyllis. Make sure that you tell me where you're watching from. A lot of you I know, some of you I may not. Hey Cindy, how are you? Cindy, I know, she's my cousin. All right, we're gonna wait just like 30 more seconds here, and we're gonna get going because I want you guys to know, I'm gonna forewarn you that this is gonna be a little long. Okay, it is going to be a little long. We're going to be on here 30 minutes plus because I've got a ton of information that I'm going to pack into you guys. Hey, thanks for jumping on, guys. And the other thing is that if you want to get a pen or a pencil to write some of this information down, feel free to go do that now. I will go ahead and repost some of this information in Word form because I think there's some things that you guys might want to know and might not want to rewatch the whole video to get that information. So I'm going to extract some of this information out and I will be reposting it later for you in written form so that you'll have that information. You can screenshot it and save it to your phone because there's some things that you're going to want to pick up to try to help boost your immune system, okay? Hey June, how are you? Hi Kendall. All right, so we're about 30 more seconds in here. We're a little over the 2-minute and 30-second mark. Welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Leslie Toller Powell. I am actually a physician assistant. I have been a physician assistant for at least 17 years. I have worked in multiple fields of medicine, including cardiology. I've worked in pain management, and I've also worked in geriatric and adult medicine. I also served and did house calls for a company here in Danville, Virginia, doing house calls for 2 years, and that was really cool because I learned so much about myself and about the elderly population. And guys, I'm going to tell you that this whole COVID situation is one of the most crazy things that I've had to ever deal with. Currently, right now, I'm working in a nursing facility here in Danville, Virginia, and we are in the middle of a COVID outbreak, okay? Yes, it is scary, but I'm going to tell you, because some things that I kind of unknowingly implemented back in the fall, September 1st of last year, I have been able, I feel like a lot of those things have enabled me and kept me from getting COVID. And a lot of that has to do with building your immunity. So we're going to dive right into this. Guys, I wrote notes. So if you see me reading off some stuff, it's not because I don't know this information. I just have squirrel brain and I don't want to leave anything out. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys get all of this good, juicy information. So I sat today and prepared this message for you guys, just like Pastor Jeff, my sermon. My pastor works on sermons every week. I worked on the sermon of building immunity and COVID. Okay. So if you know somebody that would love to know about this video and you know somebody that would benefit from this, feel free to share this on your wall right now. Feel free to tag them in this message because everybody needs to know this information, guys. This is going to be really good business information, and I'm going to share some information that you may not understand also about masks and things of why we do what we do, okay? So, we have, working in a COVID facility, one of the biggest challenges that we faced is that initially it wasn't the number of sick people that we had, it was the number of people that worked in the facility that became sick and couldn't care for the patients. We had a staffing issue. And guys, that was a huge problem for us working in the nursing facility that we went through with dealing with COVID. So understand that not only do hospitals and clinics get overwhelmed with patients who are sick, but remember that the people that work there get get sick as well, and they have to quarantine and go away. So that leaves fewer healthcare providers to take care of the people that are sick. So keep that in mind, which was something that I didn't quite understand when we came into this COVID situation where I'm working. So really interesting dynamics and crazy stuff going on out there. So COVID-19 is a SARS-2 virus. The people that are most susceptible to getting this are people with low immunity, particularly those with respiratory illness, like COPD, like asthma and other lung diseases, diabetes, and especially cancer patients, okay? If you know somebody that has cancer, they're probably the most susceptible of anybody that could end up with this virus. Hey, Jamie. So, common symptoms, I want to go through those. Fever and chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle and body aches, headaches, loss of appetite or smell. That's been one of the number one things, along with sore throat, congestion or runny nose. Nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea are also very common, especially when you get into the positive COVID testing. I'm sad to say that my parents are currently fighting COVID as well. It has been very interesting to watch this from their standpoint and to listen to the symptoms that my mother has been reporting. And I'm sure she's going to love the fact that I'm reporting her business. But diarrhea has been a horrible thing for her. And it's been going on now for about 4 or 5 days. So the GI side effects are also very real. Okay, I want you to know what the emergency warning signs are when you have COVID, okay? Trouble breathing, if your pulse ox, your pulse saturation, the oxygen in your blood drops below 90. Just know that you can get a pulse ox at CVS. You can also get thermometers there. Monitoring your temperature is going to be really important, okay? If you feel pressure in the chest, if your lips or face turn blue, if you have an inability to stay awake, mainly because you're not getting enough oxygen to the brain, these are all signs of poor oxygenation. You need to seek medical attention soon by somebody, okay? So make sure that you don't let it get to the point that, you know, your symptoms are so severe that you can't really breathe. That is what is going to make you decompensate and jump off the cliff fast, okay? This is the problem with COVID, okay? It affects everyone differently. COVID has been around for years, but COVID-19 is a new strain of this virus, okay? That's why no one knows how this particular strain was going to react on each individual. So I've seen people who are asymptomatic that have it, and we're going to get to that in a minute and why some people are asymptomatic. And I've seen people that have mild to severe symptoms, okay? I've seen people with symptoms that range from respiratory issues, GI issues, headaches, aches, fevers, but the most concerning to me more recently has been neurological symptoms. And this is something that most people are not realizing, okay? So I have a friend that I went to PA school with, Terry, and I have a friend, Whitney, who is a nurse practitioner who runs her own home health care. She does house calls. And some of the things that they have seen, there was a 16-year-old girl that Whitney treated. She basically had stroke-like symptoms. She had to learn how to retalk, her thought process. She was 16, guys, okay? Listen to me. The thought processes weren't there. And then Terry, my friend, who is a physician assistant who works in the ER, came down initially with severe respiratory symptoms. But the problems that progressed after that was that he had balance issues, he's had a horrible tremor, and horrible memory issues. And I've got a little something to share with you guys really quick. This is a one-part series of 2. Tomorrow night, I have a surprise for you guys. I've got Erin Shields coming on tomorrow night, who is a nurse local here to Danville, who also had COVID-19. She's going to firsthand explain her experiences to her, and my friend Terry that I just mentioned. He's a physician assistant and lives out in Phoenix, Arizona. He's agreed to come on live as well to add a little bit of more value to your life so you can truly hear from healthcare providers who have fought COVID and understand the dynamics of what this medical information is all about, but also have been patients as well. So you can understand exactly what we're dealing with here, okay? So that's coming up tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Erin will be joining me first, and then Terry is going to come up second. So tomorrow night, if you have time, jump on again. I'm going to be interviewing each one of those as well, okay? So what can you do, okay? Well, let's talk about the common things that people do already, all right, to help prevent COVID. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't pick your nose, okay? Wear a mask, okay? I feel like, and I'm going to say this, and Facebook may get me. This video may be deleted just because I'm saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I feel like as a personal clinician that the CDC and the WHO have been very confusing about the information that they put out, even to us healthcare providers. The bottom line is that they didn't know at first that it was actually spreading through respiratory droplets, but we knew that in order to protect ourselves that a mask may help. So I feel like that when they delayed people wearing masks, I feel like that has caused us to have like just implosion of this problem, okay? So it is very important to wear a mask. We're going to get to that, okay? To wash your hands thoroughly. You should wash your hands with soap and water. Make sure you get your wrists, and you should sing happy birthday while you wash your hands, okay? Wash your hands, grab the paper towel, turn off the faucet, throw that away, get a new paper towel, dry off your hands, turn the doorknob, throw the paper towel away. Don't touch any surfaces when you're out and about. That is how you properly wash your hands, okay? It's important to social distance for a reason, okay? Anything under 3 feet is not acceptable, okay? This is why we're recommending 3 feet apart. I'm going to get to that as well. Stay there with me. Just hang in here with me. So let's talk about wearing a mask. Why do you want to wear a mask, okay? Y'all just hang on with me here, okay? As a clinician, all right? This has nothing to do with your God-given right to protest as an American. I hear people say this all the time. Well, if they're sick, they should just stay home. Some people don't have good moral support, okay? Some people don't have access to internet, and they don't know how to use Instacart or DoorDash, okay? They are doing the best they possibly can, and for you to wear a mask is for you to have compassion for your fellow Americans who may not be as fortunate as you, okay? I want you to understand that, all right? This is not all about you and your needs and your wants and your rights, okay? Because you might still be able to go to the store and get your toilet paper, okay? But the lady who lives next door to you that is 75 years old who can't drive anymore may not be able to do that. And she may not have family in town to help check on her, okay? So try to remember, be human first, okay? And so let's get scientific about masks for just a few minutes, because there's a lot of talk about masks and everybody has a Google doctorate and everybody wants to talk about it, but nobody wants to bring on the idea of why masks are important, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now why masks are important, because I firsthand experienced watching people with COVID, and y'all, it's not fun, okay? It's not fun at all. So let's get scientific about masks. A N95 or one of the paper surgical masks, you've seen them, they're blue or white. A lot of people are wearing them, are the recommended style of masks, okay? A mask will restrict the airflow to your lungs, okay? That is absolutely true, okay? A mask will also stress the respiratory muscles around your lung. That is absolutely true, okay? There is no need for you to wear a mask when you are outside and social distancing around other people or while you are riding around in the car by yourself, okay? We've established that, okay? A N95 mask, the one that gets a good seal on it, gives you a 95% filtration rate with the pores in the mask being 0.3 microns. So a surgical mask is going to give you a 60 to 80% filtration rate. And these bandanas that people are wearing and the things that slide around their neck that go up, that's only going to give you a 19.5% particle filtration rate, okay? So first of all, we need to establish that you need to be wearing the right kind of mask. That's important. The other thing that I will go ahead and say to you guys is that wearing the mask up underneath your nose is not going to suffice. And I'm going to tell you why. Because all that dirty air that is getting breathed, you are laying your nostrils, okay, right on top of the outside of that dirty mask. And all that dirtiness is getting sucked up into your nostrils. The mask needs to go over top of your nose, and it needs to be clamped down here in order for it to filtrate properly. There's no need to protect your mouth if you're not covering your nose. Your nose is connected to your mouth and your airway. Is everybody with me? Can I get some hearts for wearing the mask over top of the nose as well? Let's just get that, all right? So let's talk about the virus, all right? I just told you that an N95 mask is going to filter out 95%. There's 0.3 microns is what the holes in that mask is, okay? The size of the virus is 0.1 microns. Is anybody's brain going off right now? Remember, the N95 has holes that are 0.3 and the virus is 0.1. So the virus can seep through all of those masks, right? Is everybody with me? But here's the thing. The more filtration you have, the less air that gets through. So technically, an N95 mask is your best option. But if you don't have an N95 mask, a surgical mask is going to do a pretty good job for you, okay? So the virus now we know travels in respiratory droplets. Duh, right? Hello, CDC and WHO. We knew this. We knew this. We knew this back in February, but they told us not to wear a mask. It drives me crazy, all right? So the size of the droplet is much bigger than the virus. So the droplet, the virus itself is 0.1 micron, okay? But the droplets are composed of protein, salts, fluids, minerals, and microbes. So it's a fluid-like gel that goes around the virus, okay? So because there's a fluid-like gel, that increases the size of the virus, which means that it's going to be larger than the 0.3 microns that we talked about, which now we're back to the N95 mask with the 0.3 microns. So the N95 mask is going to repel the majority of that virus that gets through. Now, there will always be small number of particles that are going to get through, that 5%, especially with that N95 mask, okay? But this is where having a healthy immune system is going to help fight your body fight off whatever gets through, okay? She is improving, Leslie. I went over there and checked on her. And I wore all my PPE too. So, let me just catch up here and see where we're at. So this is important to know who is susceptible to getting this virus and who is susceptible to catching it versus the viral load that you take in, okay? So you could take in a low viral load, but you could still be susceptible to getting the virus, okay? So as a healthcare worker, I'm exposed to this virus a lot right now, right? More often than the general public. So the viral load is high, all right? So all I can focus on now is I've got to trust to build my immunity, okay? So let's talk about this for a minute. And this was kind of like when I started researching this. So a sneeze, when somebody sneezes, you know, and all the little particles of air go, all right? A sneeze can project 23 to 26 feet. Ew. Okay, and we're standing 6 feet apart, right? Oh, this makes me sick. The number of particles that are in those droplets are 40,000 particles. 40,000 particles when you sneeze in those droplets, okay? A cough will project 19 feet. And you're going to see somewhere around 3,000 droplets in a cough, okay? I'm trying, Misty. I'm really trying. Y'all hang with me because I feel like I'm kind of all over the place here, but just kind of hang there with me because I'm trying to get to a point about the immunity, but we got to lay the foundation so you guys understand why this works. We got to get a little bit of science behind it, okay? So a sneeze is 23 to 26 feet, 40,000 droplets. A cough is will project 19 feet, 3,000 droplets. Not nearly as bad with a cough, right? If you see somebody sneeze, run, Forrest, run. Especially if you don't have on a mask. Put on a mask, okay? Just wear it everywhere, except in your car when you're outside by yourself. Breathing within 7 feet, okay? If you're talking to somebody within 7 feet for a 30-minute period, that's still 3,000 droplets, okay? So now that we have the ground rule, we know the particle size, we know what we need to do with the mask, we know what sneezing and coughing and breathing, and we understand why we need to be apart for 6 feet and why that social distancing makes such an important, valuable thing. Is everybody with me? Yes. You don't want to be a patient on a ventilator. Exactly. Tandia says that a patient who sustains a sneeze is going to be a patient on a ventilator. We don't want that, do we, Tandia? We do not want you on a ventilator, okay? So let's talk about immunity, all right? We're going to get into the meat of this, all right? Let me take a drink. Let me take a drink of coffee. You have asthma and cancer? Yes, wear your mask everywhere. If you can get your hands on an N95, Mickey, do. Let me go ahead and tell you something about an N95 mask too. The barrier and the filtration rate in an N95 mask, when you wear it and that seal is over your face, it's good for about 40 hours of wear. After 40 hours of wear, you're not going to get nearly as much filtration as you would a new mask. At that point, you need to try to get your hands on a new mask, okay? All right, so let's talk about immunity and what you can do. First, let's just go ahead and talk about what weakens your immune system, okay? What can weaken your immune system? Low nutrients, okay? Remember when the Spanish flu came out and they were comparing coronavirus to the Spanish flu? So back in the early 1900s, when the Spanish flu came around, there was also a huge lack of proper nutrition at that time. There was rationing of food, and at that time, they were eating a lot of canned goods and basically whatever they could get, you know, beanie weenies, you know, all those processed type foods. This led to a worsening outbreak of the Spanish flu and made people more susceptible to dying from the virus. So if you're nutritionally not taking care of your body and giving it the proper nutrients, your immune system is going to be low. And I don't think this is like new news to anybody. We know this, but you need to understand the complexity of this, okay? Number 2, diet, lack of vitamins, lack of trace minerals, which, as we know these days, they spray all of our farmers. A lot of the farmers spray the food, Monsanto, all that, with chemicals to make them grow, to make them redder, to make them greener, and that the dirt lacks trace minerals. We're not getting those good trace minerals anymore. Also, amino acids and lack of fatty acids. So the virus, okay, we're going to go back to science for a minute, talking about these amino acids and fatty acids. The virus has to invade the cell wall in order to replicate, okay? That's why omega-3 fatty acids are so important to your diet. And you get omega-3 fatty acids through coconut oil, avocado, healthy fats, non-saturated fats, okay? The omega-3s create more layers around that cell wall. So what happens is the virus jumps in and it hijacks your DNA, because the virus is not a living being. It has to invade something, take it over, and assume, sardines, best said, and assume the DNA and hijack it to replicate. It steals that DNA and then it starts replicating itself and going. And that's how it takes over your body. It almost acts like a parasite. It needs a host, okay? So if you've got a good strong cell that's got a fatty lipid layer on it, it's not going to be able to overtake that cell and reproduce, and it will die out because your immune system will fight it off. Are you guys with me here, okay? So if you have a weak immune system, you're going to be prone to getting this virus. You're getting ready for bad, yeah. Make sure that you just listen, June. I'm going to help you, okay? I want you to understand that fat and cholesterol are vital to a healthy immune system, okay? Most people feel that cholesterol is bad for you. They feel that fats are bad for you. This is a farce, okay? The last thing that you want to do is to go on a low-fat diet in the middle of a coronavirus, because when you take those fats, you reduce that fatty layer that is around the cell, which is going to protect you and keep you immune from that virus, okay? You're literally stripping the cell of its fatty acid layer, all right? You're setting yourself up to get sick, sister. I'm just telling you right now. I know, Paula. We're going to work on it. We can get you there, okay? We can get you there. Number 3, so we talked about what weakens your immune system. Number 1, low nutrients. Number 2, poor diet and lack of vitamins. Number 3 is stress. Why does stress make you susceptible to getting sick? Because stress is controlled by your adrenal gland. And your adrenal gland releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. The higher the cortisol levels in your bloodstream, the more susceptible you are going to be to getting sick, okay? So keep that in mind. Number 4, lack of sleep. This is also related to adrenal stress. People that have high adrenal stress typically can't sleep and have popcorn thoughts. They can't shut their brain off. They go to sleep. They either have trouble going to sleep and then get to sleep, or they wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and they're wide awake and they can't shut their brain off. That is a sign, a diagnostic sign of adrenal stress, okay? Not being able to sleep doesn't let your body detox. It doesn't let your liver detox. It doesn't let your body rest and recover. Your cells need that sleep in order to recover at night, okay? All right. So next is glucose, okay? Glucose, a lot of viruses are activated by sugar. Glucose is sugar for the people that don't know. I like to say sugar is the devil, and we're going to get to that because I have a whole section here on sugar, and that's going to be the last thing that we're going to talk about. I'm going to elaborate more on that in just a minute, but just understand that taking care of your diet, getting trace minerals, making sure you have proper fats, and healthy cholesterols, making sure you're sleeping and avoiding sugar is going to be key to building your immune system, okay? And it's really hard right now, guys. I know it's hard because it's hard not to be stressed when you're in the middle of this and you're fighting to keep your kids healthy and you're fighting to keep your family healthy, but you still want to go to church and you still want to be active and you don't want to live your life in fear and you want to trust God and you want to do all of these things. But just understand that even though faith is an important part of our life and our spirituality, God also gave us discernment and he also gave us education and science, and we need to use both, and we need to be able to take responsibility for our own health. And I'm going to get to that in just a minute as well. You probably do, Juanita. Absolutely. All right. So now that we talked about what weakens your immune system, let's talk about the good guys. Let's talk about how to strengthen your immune system, okay? Number 1, and this is where you might want to get your pen out, okay? Vitamin C, okay? You want to look towards getting vitamin C in foods if at all possible, rather than just taking a supplement, or you can do both, all right? Let me tell you some foods that are very high in vitamin C. Sauerkraut. Who loves sauerkraut? Sauerkraut and wieners. Girls, eat that sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is also great for probiotic effect. If you have a gut that just doesn't process, you stay constipated or you have diarrhea and you feel like your gut is just always churning and icky, eat you some sauerkraut. It is packed with loaded good probiotics. Forget the yogurt. Yogurt's loaded with sugar. You don't even want that mess. Do sauerkraut or any kind of fermented vegetables. If you can your own farm-raised vegetables and you ferment, do any type of fermented vegetables, sauerkraut is packed with vitamin C and it's going to be great for probiotics, okay? You'll drink your kombucha? Me too. I don't like sauerkraut either, Angela. I don't. Bell peppers, okay? Bell peppers are high in vitamin C. Berries, your raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, all of those. Strawberries are very high. They're high in antioxidants too. Like you hear vitamin C and antioxidants go hand in hand. Your leafy green vegetables, your kale, your broccoli, your cabbage, your spinach, load up on those leafy greens. I'm going to tell you that the recommended daily allowance of leafy greens is 7 to 10 cups. Y'all, that's crazy, I know, but make you a kale shake in the morning, add some berries to it, throw some ice in there, and mix it up, add a little bit of stevia to it. It's delicious. You can still get those 3 cups of vegetables in, and you can build your immune system instead of eating these prepackaged type of mixes that you get that have all kinds of stuff in them that is not actually healthy for you. Make your own kale shake, okay? Maybe I can put out a recipe for a kale shake for you guys. So vitamin C stimulates the production of white blood cells. And white blood cells are what are going to go to fight for you. They're going to go to battle for you. They're going to help fight off that virus, okay? Yes, girl, you need to share those leafy greens with me. Yes, right, Beth? Absolutely. All the greens. The more greens you eat, the less hungry you're going to feel, and you're going to feel amazing. Your skin is also going to look amazing too. But back to vitamin C. Stimulates the production of white blood cells. Do you guys see why I have to kind of read this off? Because if I tried to get all this out, it would never happen. Vitamin C stimulates the production of white blood cells, and it's also stored in your adrenal gland. Remember we just talked about the adrenal gland? It's going to produce more adrenal hormones. So those leafy green vegetables are going to help settle down your adrenal gland as well. No orange juice. No, Dewan. Packed with sugar. Skip it. Turnip greens are great for vitamin C. Yes, absolutely. And the vinegar is not bad for you either. If you can do apple cider vinegar is also a great thing to take in for your gut, okay? It lowers the pH of the stomach, and it's actually going to make your body a little more acidic, which is going to keep you from possibly getting sick, okay? Apple cider vinegar is something that's great to add into the system as well. You only have one adrenal gland. Woo, girl, you need double then. You should eat 14 cups of vegetables a day. I'm just kidding, Leslie. Jessica, actually you can eat leafy greens. If you'll eat them consistently, they can adjust your warfarin around those leafy greens. As long as you're consistent with it, you actually can. I worked in cardiology and I ran a Coumadin clinic for 7 years. You can. Beets are really good for you. Beets are packed with all kinds of good nutrients and vitamins too. Dandelion greens, great in vitamin C. And we've got a couple more here. So number 2, how to build your new immune system. We talked about vitamin C. Number 2 is vitamin D. Vitamin D receptors are found in your white blood cells as well. White blood cells are going to help fight off infection. Vitamin D supports your T cells, which are found in your thymus gland, which is up here near your thyroid. That's going to act as a training camp for your white blood cells. That's kind of off in left field, but I, for some reason, wrote that down. But vitamin D is something that you want to get in. I'm going to tell you the dosages soon, so just hang on. Vitamin A, so C, D, and A. Vitamin A provides structural integrity. Listen to me, guys. Structural integrity to the nasal passages and the sinus cavities, okay? Where can you get sources of vitamin A? Cod liver oil, butter, eggs, okay? These are all great sources of vitamin A, especially egg yolks. Don't skip the yolks. The yolks are a really good source of vitamin C, and they're not packed with cholesterol. They're really healthy for you. Eat the yolk. If you are like me and my friend Juanita, who's popped up here, she's my egg dealer. She brings me farm fresh eggs all the time. So grateful for her, and Tamara, who often supplies with eggs. Those egg yolks are really good for you guys. Don't skip the yolk, guys. The sun is also going to help too with vitamin A. Number 4. I'm gonna get to that, Eva. We'll get to it. Apple cider vinegar. You can mix a teaspoon in with like some water and drink it warm if you want to. If not, you can do some apple cider vinegar tablets. Okay, they do make those. I'll take pictures and show you guys. Zinc, the most important trace mineral for your immune system, increases T cells. Those T cells help support white blood cells, which fight off infection. Okay. Next is garlic. Number 1 in potency in killing off viruses, yeast, fungus, and mold, okay? If you love to eat garlic, honey, get all the cloves, chop it up. It'll keep away the viruses and the vampires, okay? Eat the garlic. Garlic is really good for you. You can also take a garlic supplement, but if you want to just do raw garlic and chop it up, put it in your food, go for it, okay? You might stink. You might smell a little bit like garlic, but it's okay. It's all good. The last one is colloidal silver. So colloidal silver comes in liquid form. You can actually put it in dropper form up underneath your tongue. You can take it like 3-4 times a day just to help maintain your immune system. But if you're sick, you can take it up to 7 to 10 times a day to help fight off, any kind of bad gunk that's going on with you. It basically starves off oxygen supply to microbes. So it just like smothers it out. So colloidal silver is also something good to have. I would highly recommend that you find somebody within your local community that carries high quality vitamins. Not all vitamins are created equal. I will tell you that. Don't go to Walmart and just buy Nature's Essentials vitamins or whatever it is, Nature's Balance. You want to get a good quality pharmaceutical grade vitamin. Look for vitamins that are non-GMO, that are vegan. If you have a holistic guru in your town who is independently owned, go to them. They will direct you into some really good quality vitamins. I also like using, there's a Nature Sunshine is a company that I love to use for vitamins, as well as Pure Encapsulations. Their vitamins are quality. I also use Dr. Berg vitamins. I really like the quality of his vitamins. So those are some of my most favorite vitamin companies, okay? So I'm going to give you the cocktail to help support your immune system, okay? Besides eating well, all right? Number 1, vitamin C. You're going to need 3,000 milligrams a day in divided doses. So vitamin C usually comes in 500, I think, or 1,000 milligram tablets. You're going to take 500 milligram tablets 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? Vitamin D. You're going to start out with 5,000 IUs daily for 2 weeks, and then you're going to go to 2,000 IUs daily thereafter, and you're going to stay on that. Yes, I will post the vitamins for you. I'll post this cocktail for you. Number 3 is magnesium. 400 milligrams daily. There's different kinds of magnesium out there. You want to get magnesium citrate, magnesium malate, magnesium chelate, or chloride form. I take magnesium citrate is what I take. Dr. Berg's Immune Pack is great. Yes, I will post the vitamins. And number 4 is zinc. You want a minimum of 20 milligrams daily, okay? So if you get COVID, okay, if let's say that you end up with COVID and you're sick and you're symptomatic, all right? Some of the cocktail that we're recommending and that we're providing right now to our nursing home residents is a Zithromax pack, a Z-Pack. Most people know like what that is. That is going to help cover you for pneumonia. Cough syrup, I like over-the-counter Delsum. Great flavor. The 12-hour is my favorite. It used to be prescription strength, but it's now available over-the-counter. Especially if you can't get to the doctor, it's a good alternative. Use Tylenol only, not ibuprofen. You're going to use Tylenol in 500 to 1,000 milligrams every 4 to 6 hours to try to stay ahead of that fever. Try not to let your fever spike, okay? Make sure that you don't have liver disease if you are using Tylenol, okay? And follow up with your physician regarding anything that I tell you tonight, all right? I just want to throw that disclaimer in there. I'm not trying to get sued by anybody by giving away medical information. If you use an inhaler, you need to use a spacer with the inhaler. You can speak to your medical provider about what that is and more details on that. All right. I'm going to take a breath and we're going to talk about sugar. And then we're almost done. We're almost done, guys. Like literally, I had 7 pages of notes here. Is that insane or what? Are you guys ready to hear about sugar? All right. Here we go. And my topic, the very top of this says, sugar is the devil. This is what I feel about sugar. Sugar is a little horned man dressed up in a red coat with a pitchfork. And he will absolutely just manipulate the crap out of your brain, okay? Are you ready? I know Beth's ready for sugar. Give me some hearts if you want to hear about sugar. Let's get excited about this, guys. We're going to build our immune systems, and we're not going to be sick the rest of the year. Are you all with me? Like, let's get excited about this, because this is stuff that it's taken me over 1.5 years to figure out, and I'm giving it to y'all free. All right? Show me some love. All right. It is hidden in almost everything, Beth, and I've got that written here. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Americans have a very unhealthy addiction to sugar. Gasp, right? Whoa, big news here. Newsflash. I'm like CNN up in here. Newsflash. Big surprise, right? Sugar is literally in everything. They hide it in everything, okay? You can think you're eating healthy. You're going to Chick-fil-A or McDonald's and you're getting the salad and you're getting the salad dressing and it's packed with sugar. What the world, squirrel? Not to mention that sometimes they wash the lettuce in like weird preservatives just to keep it from turning like colors and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, know where you're getting your salads from. You want to make sure, yeah, with a big donut on it. That's hilarious, Melissa. So just understand that you've got to know coin words, okay? So here's the news flash, okay? Because I really am going to be CNN right now. Sugar causes an inflammatory state in your body, which leads to weight gain, joint pain, low immunity, and insulin resistance. Okay? Are you guys with me here? You're eating ice cream out of the tub. Amber, put that down. Yeah, the busiest week is after Halloween. I believe it. It starts on Halloween. You're absolutely right, June, and it's all downhill from there, which is exactly why I'm trying to get you guys on board now. But it's not going to be as bad as you think, so hang on with me here. So when you have an addiction to sugar, this ultimately leads to obesity, newsflash, diabetes, newsflash, heart disease, newsflash, and eventually stroke, all right? Sugar is the one thing that you should try to eliminate from your diet ASAP. Listen to me here, guys. Listen to me, okay? You cook in some fat back to add much needed fat to build that lipid layer around yourself. Do it, Patty. I'm not against it. I'm totally not against the fat back. You just had a glass of sweet tea. Oh, Susan. Fix it, Jesus. Dear Lord, sweet baby Jesus, fix Susan's tea addiction. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, are y'all ready? We're going to keep going. I won't. You don't have to worry about that. I will make them keto cookies, Heather, because they actually like them. They'll get homemade goods from Mimi. All right. Sugar's the one thing you should try to eliminate from your diet ASAP. Did you know that for the most part, you can detox your body from sugar in about 7 to 10 days? That doesn't really sound like a long time. But do you know when you try to go those first 2 days without eating sugar, you freaking like you're going to lose your marbles? Can I get an amen in the house for that? Because this girl right here was addicted to sugar. Girl, Leslie loved cake. Leslie loved cookies. I could take a pack of jumbo, you know, the family size bag of M&Ms, the peanut butter ones that are so freaking good. I didn't share those, girl. I ate the whole bag in one sitting. I ate so much chocolate that it coated my tongue and it started to taste like pepper, but I would just continue to eat it. And then I would go into a food coma for about, I don't know, 3 hours, something like that. I felt like crap, total crap, all right? When you eat like that, it bloats you. You get mental fog. If you will get rid of, I've got off track here. If you can get rid of the sugar in 7 to 10 days, when you do, okay, bloat goes down, mental fog lifts, you sleep better, okay, you're less fatigued, joint pain starts to subside, okay, and your energy improves. Girl, if you're tired and you're not sleeping, give up sugar. You owe yourself that. Oh, off subject, you love the loungewear. That's a whole nother live, Angel. Let's see here. Not only that, but did you know that sugar drives acne? If you're suffering from acne, if you have a teen that has acne, get them off sugar, okay? Did you know that sugar will make anxiety and depression much, much worse? I don't want to say 10 times worse. I don't want to say 20 times worse, but I want to say that sugar feeds into anxiety and depression, okay? If you're struggling with that, you need to listen to me now. The one thing that you can do to heal your body is to get off that sugar, okay? You're feeding yourself sugar as a comfort, okay? And I want you to understand that we all eat our emotions, okay? We eat our emotions, all right? It's an epidemic in our society. And with COVID and lockdowns, mental health is down the toilet, okay? Abuse is up, depression's up, and the resources for mental health are scarce. I get it, guys. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Would the president please give grants to people who go into mental health and pay their school loans back ASAP, because we need to drive people to want to work in that field. And whatever it takes to get people there, we need mental health in this country desperately, okay? I hear you, okay? I hear you. I understand you're struggling, but we can't continue on this path with sugar, okay? So here's my big however. This is tough talk with Leslie here, okay? You have got, okay, I'm a medical professional, so I can say this, okay? Natural fruits, sugar in fruits is okay, Tracy, but you want to pick and choose your fruits wisely, and we'll get to that. But I'm just talking about sugar, like white sugar, processed sugar, that's just like so bad, that's put in everything. But listen to me here. I'm a medical provider, and I can say this. You have got to quit depending on medical professionals for your health, all right? You pay me as a medical professional to give you advice. What you do with that advice is up to you, and only you, okay? I can't do it for you. I can want it for you all day long. I can want you to be healthy. I can want you to do better. I can want you to quit eating sugar. I can want you to sleep better. But you have got to take control of some of this yourself. Americans want a pill for everything. Americans want things to be easy. Quit waiting for a diet pill to lose weight. Quit waiting for somebody to fix you. Go fix yourself. You can do it, but find somebody who can help you and is passionate about helping you feel better about yourself. Can I get an amen for that? Whew, I'm sweating. Now I know how Pastor Jeff feels on Sunday when the Lord starts channeling down. This is like medical miracles coming out here, okay? I'm getting hot. I'm going to have to put my hair up. All right. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard. Can you do it? Yes, you can. All right? Yes, you can. But you're going to have to educate yourself, and you're going to have to dig deep in yourself, and you're going to have to deal with those emotions and figure out why are you eating? Why are you feeling the way you feel? What is behind all that eating, and why are you dumping sugar into your body, which is going to make you more depressed, more obese, more sick, have to take more medicine, and be a slave to the government? They just want to fill you up with more drugs. They want to sell you more drugs. They don't want you to be healthy. Listen to me, okay? You can get rid of this stuff, I promise you, but you've got to be your own best advocate, and you've got to find somebody who knows about this stuff and truly cares about you and wants to help you. And I'm going to tell you right now, and if you're one of these people, it's not anything against you personally, but that food pyramid that they teach you in school is junk, and what dietitians teach diabetics is junk. It is not the way that you need to eat. It's all backwards. Eating a low-fat diet is crazy, y'all. There's a better way, and I'm telling you there's a better way. But the first thing that you can do is to get rid of sugar, okay? I need a drink of coffee. My voice is getting... I started a journey myself September a year ago. In January, I was so impressed with how I was treating myself and the things that I was learning about myself from a dietary standpoint. I opened up a group and I showed a bunch of women. That group has grown to about 500 women. And I am pouring into those women, and we are changing lives on a daily basis. And it's not going to stop there, and I'm not going to quit talking about this because it's very, very important. I want to tell you guys a quick story. I have a friend who graduated with me in high school, and more recently I kept seeing her on Facebook, and she was in her newsfeed, and she was constantly talking about back pain and how she was suffering and how she was ready to give up. So I reached out to her in Messenger, and I had no intent of offering her anything but sound medical advice, really, and what I had learned through holistic study over the last 18 months. She decided to take my advice and not listen to anybody else, not drink a special drink, not take a special pill, not do any of those things. But she decided that she would take my advice and give it a go because she was desperate, okay? In 2 weeks, okay, this girl had back pain, degenerative joint disease in her back. She could barely walk. She had already had joint injections in her back. She had already been through physical therapy. They were trying to give her pain medications. They made her feel horrible. And in 2 weeks, the joint pain subsided. She's her pain was down. She was eating better. She started walking more. Joint pain got a little bit better. Now she's taking hiking trips with her dog, and more recently, she also ran a 5K race for charity to raise money, okay? All because she decided to make sugar a non-negotiable thing in her diet. Now, mind you, I've checked in with her, and I've seen her on Facebook then, and she's cheated. She wanted to test the waters, and she cheated, and I've done the same thing. And she paid the price for it, because the next morning she woke up, and she was in an extreme amount of pain. And she's like, I can never go back. I'm like, nope, you can never go back. And she's like, so this is my life. And I'm like, this is your life. And she's like, okay then, this is my life. Let's do it. You've got to decide that feeling better and having energy and losing weight and playing with your kids and making your health a priority is more important than a donut. It's as simple as that. It's funny because she cheated and I've done the same thing. And every single time when I cheat, I just get extremely sick. And now it's not even worth it anymore. So make sugar a non-negotiable in your life. There are alternatives out there. There are plenty of non-sugary recipes that are just as satisfying. The one thing that I will tell you that once you give up sugar, you quit craving it, okay? In as little as a week, believe it or not, you won't crave it. And it really does get better. Your taste buds change, and your foods that you may not have liked before actually all of a sudden taste good, because sugar dulls those taste buds, because sugar's the devil. It wants you to just come and grab for it because it's an instant fix. It doesn't require planning and thinking through, okay? So let's see here. We are also quick to judge addicts of this world, but most of us have the worst addiction ever, and that's just sugar, okay? So here's a few sugar substitutes I want you guys to look for. The reason that I rely on these specifically is because they're not from chemicals made in a lab. They come from a plant, okay? Number 1 is stevia. Number 2 is erythritol. Number 3 is monk fruit sugar. Monk fruit is very, very sweet. If you have a really big sweet tooth, you'll probably like monk fruit. It's almost too sweet for me now. I can't even handle it, okay? Xylitol. Be aware that xylitol, if you use it in coffee or whatever you're making, make sure that you don't share it with pets. Xylitol is toxic to pets, okay? I'll also tell you that Swerve. Swerve is made for baking. It's my best friend right now. Swerve comes in granular sugar, confectionery sugar, and brown sugar. You can bake with it. I've even made sweet potato casserole with Swerve baking sugar. Amazing. Made a huge difference in the calorie count and the sugar content at Thanksgiving time. I've even convinced my parents that we've done some keto versions of baking to try to reduce, because my husband's a diabetic and my dad's a diabetic. And so it's really important. Beer has a lot of sugar in it and gluten, Michael. I try to avoid gluten also. It's something that really is bloating. So I try to stick with ciders. If you like alcohol, I would recommend the seltzers. Ciders or seltzers are your best option, or you can do like a vodka tonic with a lime or something like that if you prefer to drink alcohol. Splenda is a big no-no, Christy. Splenda's made in the lab, highly inflammatory, and I think actually that's my next point. Avoid sweet and low, Splenda, sugar, equal, or the generic names associated with these substances. You need to become familiar with them. They're highly inflammatory and your body cannot process them. Get rid of the pink, the blue, and the yellow. It's junk. All right. My favorite sweetener is a stevia brand. It's called Pure. Pyure. I buy it at Walmart and it's my favorite. I think it tastes the best, but some people don't like it. Sugar cane is a no-no. It's still sugar. Get rid of it. Finally, I want to leave you with this scenario, okay? You can do honey. Honey's actually good for you. Yes, I will list the sugars. I'll do a post right after this and give you just a couple of the things that I recommend, okay? So finally, I want to leave you with this scenario, and we're going to wrap this up. I have no idea how long we've been on here. 53 minutes. I figured it would take about an hour. I talked about sugar being highly inflammatory and suppressing your immune system. As we come upon the holidays, every Thanksgiving the sugar train starts. And June mentioned Halloween, so it probably even goes back to Halloween. Everyone's coming and going. They're baking treats. They're giving treats. They're loading up on sugar. And you need to think about this, okay? Why does everyone end up sick at that time of the year? Because we pile on sugar. We depress the immune system. We don't wear a mask. We don't wash our hands. We refuse to stay home when we're sick because we know Christmas is coming, hustle and bustle. Everybody's got things to do. So that infected person runs around, touches everything, infecting everyone, sneezing, coughing, rubbing their runny nose, then handling food, all while not eating a balanced meal. And then you grab a coffee and a bear claw to get yourself through the day because you don't have time to eat leafy greens. And don't forget the Christmas tree cakes because, those are my favorite. Fix it, Jesus, please. Are you guys with me here? Do you see why that if you want to avoid the Christmas cooties, you've got to start prepping in September? And in September, you need to understand that as soon as Thanksgiving hits, you've got to avoid those sugary snacks, okay? You've got to say no to the sugar. Eat your one piece of pie or your one piece of cake on Thanksgiving Day. Eat your one dessert on Christmas Day and be done with it. Sucralose is a no, Tiffany. Basically, guys, everybody gets sick at Christmas, and it's the one time of the year that everybody spreads sickness. The best thing you can do is try to avoid sugar, okay? Kick your sugar habit now, and when anybody tries to offer you Christmas goodies, pass on them, give them away, or honestly, just throw them away. Just throw them away. Allow yourself that one treat, okay? You'll thank me for it now. And if you want to avoid COVID, the best thing you can do is to build a healthy immune system. You know why the mask is important. We talked about the particle size of the virus. Detox is hell coming off sugar, but I promise you COVID is worse. And you're going to find out more about that tomorrow night. I'm going to be going live again tomorrow night. Aaron and Terry are going to be joining me. They both have had COVID-19. They both work in the medical field. They're going to talk about some of those symptoms and some of the problems that they've had. You want to avoid this mess at all costs. I'm going to leave you with a final note. The numbers have gone up because testing is more readily available. I want you to know that if you don't have insurance, you can still do a drive-through test at your local CVS at the Minute Clinic free of charge. All you need to do is Google CVS COVID testing, and that'll connect you to a Minute Clinic. You can put in your zip code, and it'll tell you where locally that they're doing testing. You schedule your appointment online, and you test yourself in the car, okay? When should you test? If you have a compromised immune system, or if you've been exposed directly to someone who has tested positive for COVID, or display any symptoms associated with COVID, such as, the nausea, vomiting, the diarrhea, the headaches, the lack of taste or smell, you should go get tested, okay? You should go get tested. So, guys, that's a wrap. I've literally been talking for a solid hour. I understand a lot of you have questions, and I've seen them come up here, but I didn't want to delay the talk, and I wanted to be respectful of your time. As I have time, I'll try to go back through this and answer your questions appropriately. I'm going to go back through and copy out the parts of this talk that I have that tells you what you're going to want. I may just screenshot this. I actually printed it out. I may just screenshot it and take pictures of it because this is basically almost everything that I said tonight verbatim in script form, and just let you guys read back through it and save it to your phone so that you'll have it. That might be the easiest way for me to get that information to you. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. If you have COVID, I'm so sorry that you have COVID. Guys, it is no joke. This is not a government conspiracy. This is not something that should be taken lightly. This is not something that is really up for debate as to whether you should wear a mask or not. It is real, okay? And there are people dying, and there is no end in sight, it feels like. But if we'll all take responsibility for our own health, if we'll all try to build our immune systems, we can literally wipe this thing out. I truly, truly believe that, okay? I love you guys. You all have a great night. Thank you all for listening to me. And again, if you want to hear directly from some people that have COVID, join me again tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. I'll be bringing Aaron Shields on first, and then Terry will be joining us shortly after that, okay? All right, guys. You all have a blessed night, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.